Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Teacher's Desk. It's Hope and Lori. The Teacher's Desk is a forum where teachers talk about things that are important to them. And just as a reminder that the thoughts and opinions that are expressed by us are those of us and not of the school systems in which we work. Today, we are talking about continuing the conversation on virtual learning and how that has impacted us as teachers. And today, we're talking about relationships and how our relationships in the school and outside of the school has been impacted by our virtual learning experiences. How you doing today, Lori?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
Good,
Can't
good.
complain. Hanging in there.
So I know we had talked before, and I was telling you that in my school system, they are requiring the teachers to go into the school at least 3 times a week
Mhm.
for virtual learning to teach from school, and then you have those 2 days that you are at home. And I don't know what I had envisioned those first couple weeks, but now that we have gone through it for a whole quarter, it is very lonely being in the school. It's quiet. I don't hardly get to see people unless I go into the office or running into somebody during the hall in the hallway. You know, we are all social distancing, so even when we talk, we're apart. When people come, they're staying in their rooms for the most part. And I feel like I'm missing that sense of community that I have with my coworkers, especially we always have those close couple coworkers that we eat lunch with, that we hang out with, that we always go check on. So not having that sense of community has really been difficult, especially when we're going through so much and we need to vent and we need to talk to people and we kind of just need those self assurances. What about you? How has it been? And you're at home the whole time, so you even have it more difficult.
Yeah, it's real lonely. I guess because when I'm in the building, my classroom is outside. I'm actually in a temporary. So
Mm,
because of that, I last year had to adapt to not having a real neighbor. I have a neighbor, but it's not like when you're in a building where you could just walk over to your neighbor and be like, "Hey, how you
right,
doing?" It's more like it's cold outside. Do I really want to walk all the way over
right,
there
right.
unless I'm going inside the building? So I had to adjust to that. So this year, adjusting to distance learning was also a big deal because I'm on an island by myself. I do not like, I have to constantly, the way how I communicate with my fellow colleagues is through either email or Hangouts or my cell phone.
Mhm.
That has become like now everyone has my number where it wasn't like that before because that's the only way that you can really get in contact with me any
Right,
other
right.
way. Um, and I do miss talking to my colleagues and having that downtime with them because it's not the same on the Zoom. I do miss not being able to connect with my students and see them and talk to them and even touch them, like even though I don't touch them really, because we can't put our hands on students, not like that, but
Right.
but just like, once in a while a student will come by and I'll shake their hand or I'll give them we'll do this or whatever, a pound, whatever it is, but it's not even, or sometimes like I think you were mentioning the last time that students would come by that I used to teach last year to see how I'm
Yeah.
doing and like, I want to be in your class again,
Right,
not
right.
having that and not having that contact is a big difference
It
for
is a big difference.
me.
I'm a hugger, so I'm
Yeah,
constantly hugging. Now, you know
yeah,
that.
I'm not not a hugger, but I'll give you a pound or dap or
And I'm
whatever.
like, come here, boo, give me a hug. So
Yeah,
it's definitely difficult, but I think that we had talked about before how difficult it is to build relationships with your kids in class.
yeah, it is.
Wow, it has taken us so many more weeks to learn personalities and build that sense of community. And I am missing that because it would be quicker if we were in class. to interact and to really kind of build those relationships. But I also have a whole host of kids that I have a relationship that's not actually in my classroom that I'm missing, and being able to say, well, what about this grade? Your teacher says you didn't do this assignment. What about this over, asking teachers about certain kids and just missing all of that sense of school community, the committees and the this program and the that program that you can encourage kids to get into that we don't have because of virtual learning. So that has had an impact. And on the one hand, it's good to just go into my classroom and just be in my zone and not have the pressure of having to talk to people and walk around and go to this thing and that thing. Nobody's rushing to have a meeting. Everything's on Zoom. Everything I could do from right here. So that has been a positive point, but there are times when I'm like, it's quiet, it's lonely, it's dark in here. Like, where are the people? So that has taken some adjustment. I think the same with the parents. By now, I would have run into a couple parents. We are a school of choice, so we don't have school buses. So all of our kids get dropped off or picked up.
Okay.
So it presents a wonderful opportunity at the end of the day to run out there and catch a parent, that you have to talk to, that a kid did something that, you're like, I'm going to run out there and try to catch their mother before they leave. So just being able to be out there and see the kids and interact and see the parents and run up to the car and have a quick conversation definitely has been different this year.
Yeah, I guess I kind of miss the relationships in the classroom. A lot of my students, they thrive off of my personality. And they're not able to the students are not able to appreciate it as much in distance learning. Like now they're starting to know me because now they'll crack jokes and be like, uh-oh, what kind of face is that? My kids, they usually know when I'm upset. They know when I'm happy. They know what to do to make me laugh, and so I just, like, my first laugh I made on a distance learning was last week, which I've already would have been, I had one or two that would have cracked the joke and I would be like, oh, here he go, trying to make me laugh. It's not going to work, But last week it was weird because he said something. Oh, matter of fact, it was about the election. I'm not going to share it, but, and I can't wait to go back on this week to hear what he got to say. But he made me laugh about something he said about the election. And I said, what, are you trying to make me laugh? And he was like, yeah, basically. And that was good because he did it in the chat, so I'm talking and then I look and I'm like, what are you saying? And so all the kids started putting the little laughing emojis, started going up. So it's a different type of community because this is what they do. They like to text. They like to chat. They won't unmute. They will not unmute, but they will talk to me in the chat box. So as long as they're participating, I don't hold it against them. They can either I give them a choice, chat box or unmute. I'd rather hear you unmute because I want to hear your voice. And I know it's a trust issue. So once they really start trusting me, a lot of them have automatically unmute.
We
also have the issue with the camera where I remember in the beginning, I don't know if you all, if you remember me discussing that about the students having the camera off. They have that right to have the camera off. And some of my students are turning it on now. Like I don't even have to tell them. They just automatically have it on the whole time. They're feeling comfortable to let me, because I get it, they're letting me into their space. And they have to feel comfortable about it in order to let me in their space.
Right.
Matter of fact, the other day, one of my students, he was actually on his his laptop, laid in his bed. And I was like, boy, if you don't get up out of that bed and sit up like you in school. And he was like, okay.
Right.
So, just little things like that. That's kind of what I miss, that type of personality. I can, play with them, a little bit.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you. That sarcasm, that playful, They're in
But stern, play but stern. Let's be very clear. Like we're not
exactly.
teachers that you can
It
walk
comes
over, but yeah,
online than it does in person because
yeah,
you put your body language to it to
yeah,
let them know that you really just playing and
yes,
being serious.
yeah. And it's taking
So
them longer to read us too. They're trying to read us.
it's
They're
much
like, okay,
longer to read for
mhm,
them, especially the new ones coming in. I
yeah.
have a couple that I've had already.
Right, right. Me
What
too.
the relationship is a little different
Right.
because they already have that trust, like you said, they know me, but it's the other ones that's kind of like, is she serious? Is she
Yeah.
serious?
I
Like I
don't know
don't
what to
really
do. Right. How to take this? How do I
yeah,
take
how to take this. So I am missing that aspect of the
it?
in-person learning. And I know that kids are missing the socialization that they have with each other. And I think that a lot of parents that are pushing kids to return to school, that is the issue. They're missing that socialization that kids have with kids their age,
Yeah.
especially if they're only child.
Yeah.
Just being able to go back and have that interaction. However, I don't think that people realize that they're not going to get that same social interaction when we come back. It's going to be a new day. You're not going to be able to talk. You're not going to be able to socialize. It's not going to have hangout time. But I think maybe just getting out just to see people is big for people.
We can go ride in the car and see people.
We
No,
right.
I mean, like, honestly, I get it because, like I said, I think I mentioned it to you. My daughter was like, I just want to go back to school and I want to go and do recess. And I was like, you go back to school, going, you're not having recess. What? I said, yeah. And she was like, well, when I go to the cafeteria and I see my friends, I'm like, girl, you ain't going to no cafeteria. She's like, huh? Well, then why are we going back?
Right.
Why are we going back? I said, you're not going to be able to talk to your friends. A matter of fact, they probably have a plan where all the kids are not going to be in school at the same time. So you may not even see your friends. They might have it was rumored, I don't know how true it is, but they're like, when they do the hybrid, if they do it, they're going to split it that it's like one set of kids from A to Z, A to K or what A to J, and then the other set come another day. So you may not, if your friend's name is, your last name is C, and if your friend's last name is R, you're not going to see her. Do you know what I'm saying? At school.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just like too upset about that and was like, well, I don't want to go back.
Right.
I think that people think that, oh, we want them back because of the social emotional piece, but you're not going to be able to hug your students. You're not going to be able to have conversations long time with them in the hallway or whatever.
Right.
They're going to have to go, come in and then leave or whatever.
See them at all in the hallway because with contact tracing and with us having to have all of this, you need to know where the kids are at all times just in case anything happens. We can say who they came in contact with. I won't even have those conversations in the hall.
No, I have no conversations.
Right to your class, and they even have it mapped out where you coming in different doors depending on what. Like it's possible you could be there and I cannot see you.
Yeah.
The whole time because our paths don't cross.
Right.
And, you can't just come by and say hi. I'm not going to, be on duty, having conversations with you in the hall. Like that is going to happen. So, while I know that the kids miss that, I know the teachers miss that, I know the administration misses that. That's a piece that is going to be a long time coming, and we might not get back to that this school year, even with in-person learning.
Of course. And you got to think, like, I never forget as a child growing up, going to school, the place that we always wanted to go was where? The teacher's lounge.
Right, exactly.
I remember we used to always be like, what is going on in there? Because it was like, you hear laughing coming out of there and all kinds of stuff. And I know as a teacher, when I became a teacher, that was the spot. You go in there and like, if you go in there for 5 minutes, I never really ate my lunch in there. Like I always, eat my classroom or whatever. But when you go in that teacher's lounge for 5 minutes, there's always something good going on in there.
Yeah.
A conversation or something. And just missing that the copy machine not working, whatever the situation.
Right. Free. You have now, even though I might run into some people, before at the copy, I was asking you how were the kids, how was the what you doing this weekend. You
Yeah.
know, none all of that is out. And I am blessed to work in a school where we really all get along and it's not a large turnover.
Right,
For
right,
some schools, it's a large turnover, so I can't imagine what new teachers are doing.
right. Oh man.
Sense of relationship, but we only had one new teacher come in this year.
Oh wow, that's
And
great.
she's a new teacher. Like this is her first year. I haven't been able to see
Oh wow,
her.
she's
I
new,
plan
new.
her.
Oh wow.
So she's new, but
What a year to start.
exactly.
To start teaching. Oh man,
So
I
when
feel
you are in a building when you are not new and nobody has been new for a couple of
yeah,
years, then you are so used to just seeing people and how are you doing, and you know you're missing that contact. And
definitely.
so I am, as we move into the holidays, encouraging people to rebuild relationships by reaching out over Zoom
What?
and phone and FaceTime, and you know we are missing those relationships,
Zooms.
those interactions. But like you said, it doesn't mean that we have to actually be in person
Right.
to get those. It's just that we have to make more of an effort.
Yes.
At Thanksgiving time, I mean Zoom. Everybody eat at the same time at your own house, and we Zoom for 20 minutes.
Right.
You look at your meal and talk and what y'all having and this, that, and the other, and you know, and still kind of get your time in that way.
And
Um,
even maybe even on a positive note is building the relationship with your family that you have at home, your immediate
mhm.
family. I mean, I know, and I know you can relate to this more than anyone else, probably even more than I do, but everyone's involved in different activities at one point. It's
Mhm.
like you kind of like running by. We like, okay, I got this one, you get this one, you take this one
Right,
here. We're
right,
running
right.
around and we don't really have the time to be at home. And I mean, it's the silver lining of this whole situation, but you know, just appreciating our family, resetting and going
Right.
back to
Resetting.
eating together,
That's right.
talking about things we probably haven't
Rejuvenating.
talked about. I
Yeah.
discovered so many things that my child did not know and did know to do that I didn't know because we're not with them all this time. We're not
Right.
mostly at school. So I
Right.
guess it's the silver lining of it too.
Yes. Yes. Building relationships in a different way.
Yes,
Starting some new traditions.
yes. And
Yes.
hopefully we will have we do have a new president. So
Yes, yes. So that will give us something else to talk about, something else to look
yes,
forward to.
yes,
Conversations over the holiday
yes,
season.
we will.
So I think that it's just another testament to how much teachers are doing, how much the school is doing, how much we are sacrificing, and
Yeah,
all of us in this whole situation, but making it work. So thank you again. Thank you everyone for joining us of this
yes, thank you.
episode of the Teacher's Desk.
Right.
We look forward to hearing your feedback, and we look forward to hear what you have to say around this topic.
Of course.
Yes, if you have not already liked our Facebook, please do so and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Have a good evening.
Have a good evening.